Hello guys, Michaela here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another speed build. Today we are working on a very big build. This was actually a request, so I've been kind of postponing commissions, or like not postponing. I'm not really taking commissions at the moment, but this person really wanted to get a house done, so I had kind of like a clearance in my schedule, so I decided to go for it, to give it a try. And even though it's like a very big build, I had a lot of fun with it. It's built on a 50 by 40 in Henford-on-Bagley. It's a 8-bedroom house, so there's plenty of space for all your Sims. You could have a family over, you could have guests, so there is plenty of space for everyone. There's also an unfurnished basement, which I was asked to add to the build, and yeah, I think it's really pretty. Because I was provided with a very specific inspiration picture, but I wasn't really feeling it, the picture, right? So I tried that for the first time, like kind of copy it, like transfer it as closely to reality as I could, but it just looked weird to me. I didn't like it. I wasn't feeling it. So I was like, hey, is it okay if I try to kind of come up with the style that you want, but like like my own shell? And this is what I came up with, and I love how this one turned out. It's very much out of my comfort zone, but I really enjoyed working on this. So you have a section for horses, which is here, which is something I'm working on right now. That's the stables. There is a pond, there is a space for a chicken coop, or like a chicken coop. There is plenty of stuff to do outside. I included some kids activities. I included a barbecue outside. So there is plenty of stuff to do in here. And yeah, I'm really happy about how it turned out. So as I said, it's a 50 by 40, 8 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and the house comes in at just under 170,000 simoleons, which is very expensive, I think. But if you have like if you have like a full household, you probably have enough money, right? I don't know. Maybe, you know, so I think a lot of people play with cheats, so they don't really care about how much it costs. But if you are playing like a budget, or you're like trying to make money for what you buy, you're probably not gonna be able to afford this because it's huge and expensive. Anyway, I'm not sure if you can hear it on my voice. I talked about it last week that my boyfriend got tonsillitis. He had antibiotics. He was at home. We didn't see each other for a week, and I thought that I'm getting it. Last week when I was recording, that was last Thursday, I felt that I'm gonna get it. I didn't get it until Monday, but that was kind of my fault. Because I was feeling under the weather until like Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday, I felt fine. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do something fun. So I went for a bike ride with my parents on Monday. And that completely killed me. I kind of, because just for clarity, my parents have electric bikes, and I don't. I have like a normal horse bike. No, horse bike. Mountain bike. I don't know what I said, horse bike. I have a mountain bike. And they took me to, it wasn't that hilly, but it was quite demanding. And so I kind of let them, I don't know how to really call it. I just let them set the tempo and I kind of went with it. And when we got back, I felt horrible. I was exhausted. I felt tired. And the next, like in the evening, my throat started to hurt, and in the morning I got a cold. So it's not necessarily tonsillitis because I feel much better than what I would feel like with that. Like I feel much better than my boyfriend did. So I think it's more of like a cold that kind of developed from something I probably caught from him. But yeah, it was, yeah. So I thought I survived, but I didn't in the end. But I'm feeling quite fine. I hope I'm not gonna lose my voice while talking for this video because it's quite a long one. I usually have like 20-25 minutes. Here it's almost 30. So I hope I'm not gonna lose my voice or get a random like whatever spill of like a episode of cough. But yeah, I'm feeling okay, I guess, considering how bad my boyfriend looked last week, because he looked absolutely horrible, tired, yeah, just not good. So mine is amazing compared to his symptoms. And yeah, I've been to school technically for the not last time. I was gonna say that yesterday was my last lesson, but that's not true because we have an extra one on Monday, so that's gonna be my last uni class ever. I'm really not planning on going back anytime soon. So it's gonna be my last uni lesson, which is both exciting and very nerve-wracking because that means that I'm gonna have to start studying for my finals now, which is something I really don't want to do. I don't know what it is. I think I've talked about it last week. I just find it really hard to concentrate on school stuff lately. And like today, I felt motivated to work on my master thesis this morning, but I ended up texting with my boyfriend till like 9 in the morning because we live apart from each other, and I texted him for like an hour and a half after I woke up. I then had to sort through emails. I had to kind of talk to multiple people at the university about certain things. I had to um come up with a date for a consultation for my thesis. I had some questions for like the study department, like technical questions really. So I kind of sent like 5 emails this morning. I'm also compiling some stuff for my professor at the English department, and it was just noon. And I had to do lunch as well. So it was like 1 in the afternoon before I knew it. So I was like, what's the point? Like, I need time, right, to get into the mood of like actually working, especially with things that I'm not fully in, right, into. I think is the better word. So I don't know. It's been really sad lately. I've been very unproductive when it comes to school stuff. So hopefully it will turn around a little because it kind of has to, because I have to start studying for my finals, which should be in like a month and a half. I'm gonna probably talk about them a lot in the upcoming like weeks. I'm sorry in advance because it's kind of all I think about right now. The finals and my boyfriend as well. I think he'd be happy to hear that. Yeah, so it's gonna be a stressful couple of months, but because I was kind of sick, we had the Easter holidays. I got to pre-build a couple of builds, which I'm very happy for because I was kind of running out of stuff to post, and I know that I might not have as much time to build in the upcoming weeks. So I'm very happy that I got to kind of do that. So that's what I'm kind of doing right now instead of doing school stuff. I am recording a video and then I'm gonna do some building again because I don't know. I kind of lie to myself and say it's productive, which it kind of is because my YouTube channel is my hobby, but it also makes a little bit of money, so it's productive. It keeps me sane, so I guess we can call it productive. Yeah, anyway, let's go back to the build before I get before I go on a rant about something like that again and, bore you with details that you're not interested in. So here I am working on the little pond. It's just fairly small because I needed to fill the space with something, and I didn't want to add like too many activities. And I love landscaping. I love ponds. I feel like they're very, very realistic for spaces like this. So yeah, that's why I went with a pond. So I'm just adding some landscaping around it as well as rocks because I don't like the look of a pond that has like only landscaping around it. I feel like they always kind of have some sort of rocks around them, but I don't know. That's just my preference, I guess. So we have this little pond. I'm gonna add some more rocks and landscaping, and then we're gonna add some activities. So at the side of the house, you can see a little porch area, which is going to be turned into a barbecue area. So I'm gonna add a table and a grill in there. I will also add a gardening space, which is also something the person who requested this asked for. So I made sure to add these patches from cottage living in here so that they can garden with their Sims. And I'm also gonna add some activities for the kids, so like a swing, these monkey bars. I think that a game that came with outdoor retreat. I'm not sure, like throwing a horse, whatever it's called. I don't know. Just this game. And I also placed a fire pit out here because I felt like it just needed to be added into a space like this. So there's plenty of space for gardening. You can kind of grow whatever you want in here. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna add something more. I just tried to add a lot of skill building items because that's again something that the person who requested this asked for, because they wanted to have a lot of space for building skills with their Sims. So there are actually kind of 3 playrooms. One is like an actual playroom for kids. So I made sure to add the tent that I believe came with Dream Home Decorator and some like toys and kind of the drawing station and everything like that. And then there is one space for a ping pong table. So that's more like a fun game rather than skill building. I also made sure to include some skill building items into the bedrooms. And then we have, which is kind of on top of the stables, we have a room where we have like 2 rooms. One is like a music room, so there is a piano, guitars, and some seating, and some bookcases as well. And the other one is actually a gym, so I felt like that was also kind of nice to have a gym like that. But you can also obviously ride horses because you have the space for it right here, which is where I'm adding the lights at the moment. You can have 2 horses actually. Here, but you could only have one. That's just completely up to you. There is the chicken coop here. So yeah, I just really had a lot of fun. I usually kind of gravitated towards modern builds, which I think you've figured out by now if you watch me for a while. But it's fun to do something a little bit different from every now and then, because these builds are just so fun to work on, especially from the point of view of the landscaping. It's a lot of fun to do this with the pond and with everything around it. I just really love how it turned out. So the person who requested this also wanted me to modernize the interior, so I use a lot of stuff from packs like Dream Home Decorator, but I kind of also wanted to keep the spirit of kind of like a farmhouse vibe. So I tried to just combine the 2 together to make it look, I don't know, maybe it's like a renovated farmhouse. So they renovated some of the spaces, but not all of them. So they maybe kept some furniture. I felt like that was realistic, at least to me. Yeah, so here is the kitchen. I initially added a small table by the window, which I thought could be like a breakfast nook, but I think I ended up changing that for a different table, and I also moved the island a little bit more towards the window because it just made sense for the placement of the living room later on. I was very indecisive. I think this is like my 5th try on the kitchen. I guess I just wasn't sure what I wanted it to look like, and I wasn't sure what was going to look good. But I'm keeping, because again, something that the person requested was to keep the color scheme kind of brown and beige, things like that. So there's not really any color in here. There's just like browns and whites and grays and blacks. So it's very neutral. Kind of like a boho vibe a little bit with the colors, at least, even though you can have colorful boho spaces, but you know what I mean. So I ended up going for these counters that are from the Dream Home Decorator game pack with the brown wood kind of detailing, and I felt like that looked really nice. I think I'm also going to change the backsplash because right now I have the wallpaper that's all around the house, but I think I'm going to change it to a different one. But to be completely honest, I don't remember which one because it's been a while since I built this. It's been like 2 weeks since I finished this build, and I don't remember what I've added there. So here I'm just adding some clutter to the island, and we're going to move on to the living room soon, or maybe the dining room after this. I'm not fully sure. Yeah, it's just like, as I said, it's been a while since I finished this, so I don't really remember. Oh yes, we're going to dining space. So the dining space is fairly simple, just like a big table that can accommodate a lot of Sims, because there are a lot of Sims living in this house. And you can see here, this is the entrance into the basement, which is unfinished. I initially had it open like this, but because I think because of the lighting, which I didn't really like, I ended up closing it off. Yeah, and kind of adding a door. Into this section of the stairs, upstairs and downstairs, so that there wouldn't be the weird shadow on those bookcases from the book Nook kit. I use quite a bit of packs for this one. I've been kind of neglecting the restricted pack builds a little bit. I want to do one, but it's kind of difficult because I'm enjoying kind of cluttering everything up. Even though I'm not sure. I think I did one. No. I have a cafe, which I finished yesterday. And then I have, I forgot what the next build. Oh, I have an apartment, but I did not hold myself back with packs with that one either. But I'm gonna try and maybe do a restricted pack build soon, because I think it's always nice to do some, because there are a lot of people who don't have that many packs, so it's always good to think about them as well. I also used a lot of the book Nook kit, as you can see, because I felt like it added kind of like a cozy atmosphere. So it's not modern per se, but it's also not traditional either. So it's more like a cozy chic vibe, which I was going for. Right, so you can see that I'm moving the island and moving the stuff that I placed around it, and I'm gonna place a table from Snowy Escape, which can be kind of shoved into the island a little bit, and you can have 3 spaces for the Sims to maybe enjoy their dinner, or for the kids to do their homework if they don't want to do it in their bedrooms. So I felt like it was a really kind of realistic touch that you would have this like a breakfast table sort of thing. I initially went with this darker swatch of the couch, but I think I later changed it to a white version because I felt like it was more, it just gave the space a bit more light, and the color, I feel like. I've been lately absolutely loving watching the, oh god, I forgot the name, Interior Design Masters. I've watched the previous seasons as well. I think I've talked about it in some of my previous videos as well, because it's technically a the word reality show, reality show. I don't know, whatever. It's just like a competition show. That is aired on BBC One, I want to say, in England, or like in Britain. And basically 10 people, well, it started with 10 people, now it's like 4 or 5. 10 people are competing to, amateur interior designers basically are competing for a chance to kind of design some sort of space. And they usually design commercial spaces like cafes and rentals and things like that. And I really love that show. I've been watching it nonstop. It comes out every Tuesday. Or it's aired on Tuesday evening, I think. And I always watch it on Wednesday. Because I can't really watch BBC in the Czech Republic. But it's amazing. I love it. I enjoy it so much. And every single year I'm just absolutely captivated by that show. So if I have any like fellow builders, or maybe people who are fans of interior design, I highly recommend the show. It's called Interior Design Masters. You can watch it from the beginning. I think the first 2 seasons, or the first season, is actually available on Netflix. So you can watch it there if you want to. And if you're hooked like I was, you can just then watch the rest of the shows online, because you can find the episodes if you just Google them. I think the season that's coming now is 5th or 4th. I'm not sure. It's either for 4th season or 5th season, and I'm absolutely hooked. I love it. It's amazing. So I highly recommend it, because I know that a lot of builders like me are very much into interior design. So yeah, if you want to be inspired as well, you can watch that. So I now talked over the guest bedroom, which is very cool. I love what I did with the cabinets from Dream Home Decorator. And here we have the master bedroom, and on the opposite side of this kind of bump out is what could be a grandparent's bedroom, or it also could be just like a second guest bedroom, which is very luxurious. Sort of, or you could technically turn these two into guest bedrooms and you could use the other bedroom as your own, but I don't understand why you would kind of trade a bigger bedroom for a smaller one, but I think the Sims don't really care, right? So yeah, I don't know, just whatever you want to do. This one has a computer, which is why I wanted it to be the master bedroom, because I felt like that was realistic that they have the computer in their home, and the other one I think just has some seating, so that's why it's more of a either guest bedroom or a bedroom for grandparents. Yeah, I used the beds from Horse Range in like two very different swatches. So one of the rooms is much more like darker. It's like a darker blue, not dark blue, darker brown, while this one is a lot lighter. Because I wanted to kind of give it the contrast, and I also wanted to use different swatches of the same bed, so it kind of. I think that was the main reason why I went for a lighter color scheme and a darker color scheme in both of those spaces. Here I'm just adding some clutter to this kind of like hallway area that leads from the main part of the house into the stables, and the upstairs of the stables, or like this kind of barn area, can be accessed through a staircase from the outside. So there is no staircase inside the stables, but there is a staircase kind of on the side or from the back, which you can use to enter, or which a Sims can use to enter the upstairs rooms. Here I am working on two teenage bedrooms. So we have two teenage bedrooms, one for an infant, one for a toddler, and one for a kid. So you technically could have like 7 Sims, you could have a single mom, whatever. It's just completely up to you. But there are two teen bedrooms, one infant, one toddler, and one kid. And then the master, the grandparents or guests, and then the second guest. So that's the 8 bedrooms. So you could fit pretty much any family in here because you have rooms for every generation or like every age group basically. So this first one, I imagine that the Sims that lives here is really into like nature. So there are a lot of kind of like natural elements in here. You have the poster with the fish. You have the poster from high school years with like greenery, things like that. So I imagine that this person really, like this teen really, really loves nature. And the other one, I'm not sure. As I said, it's been a while since I built this and I don't remember every single detail about this build. I want to say I added some like sports stuff or like music stuff. I don't know, it's just like a random whatever I felt like looked good with the color scheme. So here is going to be the toddler bedroom, and the bedroom next door is going to be for the infant. So because I'm not a big fan of like huge rooms, I managed to fit quite a lot inside of this build. So you had 8 bedrooms, 3 playrooms, you have the main living space, you have the stables. So I think I just really got really good at using space kind of wisely, and I don't know, I'm just blowing my own horn right now. Yeah, so what I was just trying to say is that the bedrooms are not huge, which is something I really like because I feel like it's realistic. You don't really get usually huge rooms in like normal standard size houses. I mean, yes, if you buy a mansion, you probably get like huge rooms, but if you buy a standard house, you don't get rooms that are huge. So I felt like it was realistic to do that. So here is the infant bedroom, which is also fairly small. I went for a green color scheme because that's just how the swatch worked, really. It's also kind of like the playpen area and a chair, so maybe you can read stories to the baby. And because the bedrooms are fairly small, I kind of had to work my way around it a little bit when it came to decoration and play stuff. So that's why I made sure that here we have the ping pong table, so it's like a fun kind of hangout spot. And in the second area, which is closer to the 2 bedrooms, here is where I'm going to make like a playroom. So basically, yeah, the kids can just go out of their rooms and play together, all of them in a room that's kind of like a playroom. It's for everyone, and I really like that. I feel like it's not necessarily realistic, but I think for gameplay it's really good because you have a lot of things to occupy your kids' Sims with, which is, I think, really good. I also made sure to place the jumping thing from for rent outside as well. I don't think I've placed it before, but it felt like a really nice touch here, since you have a lot of kids in this house, right? So it felt like something they would probably have outside. So I'm just adding some final touches, some decorations, and I think we're going to move on to, oh yeah, the last bedroom, which is for the kid. And I used a bed from Horserange, which is a bag I used quite a lot, obviously, because it's like a farmhouse style build, so it makes sense that it's the build that the pack that I've used a lot, even though it's not necessarily modern. I felt like it fitted the style that I was going for. I also made sure to place a desk in both, or like in all three of the teen and kid bedrooms. And I'm also placing some toys and clutter pieces as well. And now I think we're going to move on to the stables area. I think I've talked about it before, but when I build, I prefer to add clutter, but I don't want to do it too much because I don't want it to be laggy for you, and I don't want it to be unrealistic because I feel like you have clutter at home, but not like too much because you want to actually live in the house. So that's kind of my philosophy when it comes to clutter. And yeah, that's pretty much everything for today's quite long video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so you would never miss a video. I post every Friday like a long build, and every Tuesday a short room build. If you want to download this build, you can get it on the gallery. My ID is michaelasimsyt, or you can try the hashtag michaelasimsyt if that doesn't work for you. Or you can also get the trade files in the description box below, as always, on my Ko-fi page. And yeah, have a great day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!